Hey everyone, welcome to another top 10 video. In this top 10 list, I picked out my top 10 picks for best dual land art. So dual land art, at least by my definition, are lands that produce one of two colors or fetch for one of two colors. I included fetches because honestly, I'm never going to do a top 10 fetch land art. I feel it would be a bit too restrictive, so I figured I'd include fetches in this list. But let's get started. Before we do, though, just a little debate there. If you haven't already subscribed to this channel, please do down below today. Hit that red subscribe button. Ideally, that notification bell as well. But that subscribe button is enough. Subscribing really goes a long way. It's not just another number. You know, it helps with all the YouTube algorithms, helps other people find my channel. So thank you for that. I really appreciate your support. Now, really, let's get started. For my number 10 pick. Now, it was really hard to go through my 10 picks. There are hundreds, literally hundreds, of dual lands in Magic. Just dual lands. Forget lands in general. Just dual lands. So there's a lot of art. I went through all of them, and I picked the ones that truly speak to me. I tried to stay away from abstract land art, and tried to pick actual scenery or something, or structures. So from number 10 is Highland Wheel. And I'm very much, and I've said this before, I'm very much a fan of, wintertime in general, in the real world. Very much a fan of Christmas, just the holiday settings and all that, holiday music up until December 31st. And when it comes to lands, I very much enjoy, snow type lands or snow type art. And Highland Wheel is one of those. Now, what I like about this is it's not the traditional type of colors that you would see in a snowy scene. It's very reddish, very pinkish, maybe even a bit of an orange in this particular painting, or this particular artwork, and I really like that. I like that it's a bit of a change. It's very Christmassy. It's green and red. Those are traditional colors. I like that it's actually snowing and that the artist kind of tried to grasp the snowing effect within the artwork. And yeah, I've always really enjoyed this art. Enjoyed the land as well. Not many places you could play it, but the artwork itself is my number 10. So let's get on to number 9. So I really, really like this art. Of course I do. What a stupid thing to say. It's on my top 10 list. Yavimaya Coast. The original artwork was a painting, I believe, and you could kind of tell that from the clouds in the background. I don't know what it is about this particular artwork that gets me. I believe because I've stared at it for a long time over the years, and I'm just trying to figure out what is it that attracts me so much to it. It's definitely the use of colors here, very much hitting the color palette that I enjoy a lot, in the blues and the teals. But I just like the action shot within this landscape, because essentially that's what it is. It's a coastline, but you don't have a traditional beach. You have a bunch of trees and tree roots that are making up that coastline, and rock, obviously rock formations. And I just think that's very much, the painting or the artwork very much can put me in that scene, and that's what I always really enjoy. That's an ongoing theme in my top 10 lists for artwork. So this is just another one of those artworks that I really always enjoy. I really enjoy having the card itself, and I really enjoy being able to put myself in this coastline and just trying to imagine what it sounds like and what it feels like. Number 8, Woodsy Foothills, at least the 2014 version. Now, there is a lot of detail in this art, in this shot. A lot more than you might notice when you're just looking at the card. And I always really enjoy, yes, I am biased because it's another winter-like scene, but not a Christmassy scene by any stretch. But just look at the mountains in the background. Look at the amount of detail that's actually been put into the face of the mountain, facing whatever the light source is, obviously a sun. You have birds flying nearby, closer to you, a bit midway basically between you and the mountains. And, from where your vantage point, where you're standing, at least within the art's context, there's something going on. You're not sure what it is. There's this weird glowing effect coming from the deadwood or whatever rock formation you're at, or ice formation you're at, which I think is really cool. You know, and this is a wooded foothill, so it's, you know, red and green. So maybe the artist was trying to grasp maybe the red, the burnt aspects of what wooded foothills is, you know, meant to represent. But I just always really enjoyed this artwork. Again, really a lot of detail, really an awesome scene, very much can put you in the mood, and it's almost an unsettling you know, scene to be in. It could be both calming and unnerving at the same time. So I really enjoyed the Wooded Foothills art here as my number 8. Number 7, Quadrix Campus. So this is a more recent, obviously, addition to the dual land cycle. Again, here using a lot of the color palettes that I enjoy. I like the fact that, you know, the Quadrix are all about math, and you know, the campus is very I don't know if ergonomic, but geometrically aligned. Like, it's very, you know, precisely planned, and, you know, it's very much, you know, planned correctly and planned very specifically. You could tell, like, they measured everything, so it's very Quadrix-like, which I really enjoy. And those arches in the background, they're really cool. It made of whatever crystal or water, whatever it is. You already see the cubes that are on the actual campus. So it's basically the same thing, but in the background. Yeah, I really enjoy this scene, this shot, and I think it deserves a spot in the top 10 for artwork. Now, it doesn't have as much detail as I would like. You know, the only reason it got bonus points here is because, you know, it is more of a it's more of a meld between scenery and structure, and I feel like it was really well put together here, so I could kind of get in there. I get a World of Warcraft vibe from it as well, from Outlands. Those of you that are World of Warcraft fans will know what I'm talking about. But yeah, this is my number 7, Quadrix Campus. Number 6, Tranquil Garden. Unfortunately, the artwork, I couldn't get like really high res version of the artwork. This is a bit older here, by John Avon, unsurprisingly. You know, infamous artist for lands. And yeah, I really like it's kind of like an ominous scene, because if you look at your foreground, you're kind of like in a dark wooded area, not too much foliage. Like, if you look at the trees and the branches, there's really no leaves or anything there. But then as you walk further in, you have that tranquil garden, basically, right? You have a light shining down or glowing up. You have leaves and actual grass and life that's growing, and it's colorful, and there's even a bridge, so there might even be water underneath. And I really like that duality, basically, of, you know, light and dark. You know, that's kind of been encapsulated in this image, or in this artwork. And again, this is really something that stood out to me. It's something you could kind of escape into, maybe just going into this garden and just kind of relaxing for a while, and getting away from whatever troubles are around you. And this would hit my number 6. Misty Rainforest is my number 5. So this is interesting. Well, I mean, again, unfortunately, I couldn't get a higher res image. Really unfortunate, but it is what it is. This is a Misty Rainforest, and I feel like the artist pretty much hit it there. Now, I have to admit it that I'm a bit biased, because, you know, I'm into Teamer as a player, and Misty Rainforest makes appearances in a lot of my decks. It's an artwork that I've seen a million times, and I really do love the artwork, even though it's just, you know, foliage and trees. But I feel it's done well. I feel like this could have been done in a million different ways that would have been less interesting, but here it's interesting. You know, you have a lot of heavy foliage on the ground. It's not just grass, or whatever, or mud or dirt. You have actually a lot of life teeming there. You know, I almost get like a humid feeling from it, which would make sense. That's what you would expect from a Misty Rainforest. A lot of water vapor in the air. It's misty. It's humid. You're sweating just by standing and not doing anything. So I don't know. It's one of those scenes that, again, you could kind of escape into. And I've always really enjoyed Misty Rainforest's art. Something I could always stare at and you know, for a few seconds in the game and enjoy. So yeah, that's my number 5 pick. Number 4, Arctic Tree Line. A more recent printing from Kaldheim. Again, winter scene. So again, very much biased here. I know I was born and raised here in Canada, so maybe these type of images also resonate with me because I can like almost apply them to feelings or times in my life that I've actually like experienced, even if they've been inconsequential. They're just, a random day or a random night or a random trip somewhere. Whatever it is, Arctic Tree Line really hits nail on the head. We enjoy the winters up here. We have no choice. And yeah, you get the little light show up there in the sky as well, which is very beautiful. Looks great in foil. I like the grass growing through, either because this is a fresh snow as winter's starting or as spring is coming around. I don't know, I really like the scene, how it's getting darker as you go deeper in, a lot of light where you are standing, and yeah, this made my number 4. Number 3, is it Gilgate? So this was a tough pick because this very easily could have just not been on the list. There's a lot of art that's similar to Is It Gilgate, but I really liked this iteration of Is It Gilgate. Very Is It like, very laboratory, and you have all the piping going everywhere, but you also have electrical sparks going on, and there's like a row of them, kind of like those are the electrical conduit lines. Just a lot going on, a lot of detail even in the background, which is what I like. I always say this, like, artists could always save time by just blurring out the backgrounds, but here if you look at the buildings in the background, there's at least some detail there, and I always appreciate the effort. It actually makes a big difference overall when you're looking at the artwork as a whole. So yeah, I really felt that this should be higher up on the list as my number 3. Really like the mixing of the colors. Of course, as a foil, this looks beautiful. But even just the artwork as it stands in and of itself, I think it's just spot on, and it deserves a high spot on my list. Number 2, another Gilgate. I managed to get kind of like an extended version of this, so you could kind of see a bit more detail. What I like about this is, like, the Simic are entering almost from above and going down, right? So like the gate is down there. Like if you look at the bottom of the artwork where all the water is going in, that's their gate. At least that's what I'm assuming. So I think that's really cool, a really cool perspective, and a lot of detail again overall in the artwork. But I just think it's a cool concept to display, and I think this is well executed. And when I saw it start, I was like, okay, it's gonna be on my top 10, that's for sure. I just have to find a spot for it. I wanted to prioritize non-landscape art a bit more in my top 10, which is why this and Is It Gilgate ended up in my top 3. Number 1, Capucin Forest. So I've mentioned this before, where I think this is one of my top 3 art of all time, or land art of all time, personally, for Magic. And it's no surprise as my number 1 on this list. The resolution of artwork I got unfortunately wasn't very high, but it's okay. This is older artwork. Again, unsurprisingly, John Avon. And it's not done on purpose. It's just I clearly have an affinity to John Avon art, and I think a lot of people do, and I think that's not really surprising at this point. What I like about this shot, the fact that it's a winter scene, but if you look at how the snow is sitting on the branches, it's either a fresh, thick snow that's fallen, or this is like the beginning of spring and it's starting to melt. It's exactly what snow looks like, and I really like that it was captured well. And yeah, I've always enjoyed this artwork. I just always have. Gives me a winter-like theme, gives me a Christmas-like theme, and it just had to be number 1 on my list. And yeah, there you go, sitting right there. And again, you even have decent detail in the mountains in the back. Wasn't necessary, but it was there. I guess it's just another great piece from John Avon, and my number 1. So that's it for my top 10. Let me know what you thought in the comment section down below. Yes, I'm still losing my voice because yes, I'm still dealing with this stupid cold, but, you know, I still managed to get a podcast in tonight and get this top 10 list recorded. So I think that's a success either way. What would you pick as your top 10 or even your top 3 or your top 1 dual land art? I would love to know. Obviously I have a bias, as everyone does. Art is subjective, so I am very curious to hear what you enjoy as artwork. Let me know. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a thumbs up. If you enjoy my content in general, please subscribe and hit that notification bell. It really goes a long way to help me out a lot. If you want to become a member here on YouTube, hit that join button, which should be in and around that subscribe button. Check out the different membership tiers and the different perks you get at each tier. You know, I'd love to have you as part of my YouTube community officially as a member. And I think the membership tiers are pretty interesting, have some cool little features in there. So check it out. I would really appreciate your support. Follow me on Facebook, Twitter, share my content on social media, watch my content start to finish like you're doing right now. It really does go a long way, so thank you for that. Lastly, if you want to become a patron, check out the Patreon link in the description of this video. Check out the Patreon rewards program. In a nutshell, you give me money every month. I use that money to buy a sealed product, which I open up on this channel, and then I give you back that money in the form of rares and mythics at the end of every year. The longer you're a patron, the more rares and mythics you get. Basically, 1 rare mythic for every month that you're a patron. And the value of those rares are anything really between $3 and $15. Some of them go even higher, as you know. So even if you average out about $5 per rare, that's $5 a month, you get your money back, but odds are you'll make more. Anyway, all that information is on Patreon. There's a video on there that explains it all. We really appreciate your support either way. Thanks, and have a good one.